We're at the Canadian Fruit Festival in Okanagan, BC. It's been an amazing weekend. We're just wrapping it up, and I've heard a lot of really amazing stories this weekend on people's transformation to the vegan or raw food diet. And Shannon's story is really amazing, and I've asked him to sit with me and share it, just in case anybody can relate or is interested in making the transition. So Shannon, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah,
your journey?
From Toronto, Ontario. It's in Canada. I'm 25. I just finished university this April, and my journey started last August, just after my birthday. I turned 25, and I met a friend first year university, and she was a vegetarian, and I was on the football team, and we always used to see each other in the calf, and we started sitting beside each other, and like I'd always have mountains of like meat, eggs, bread, fries, fried food, all that stuff. And she'd always be sitting beside me eating like celery and carrots, lettuce. And she challenged me to try and go vegan for like 2 weeks, and I accepted it. And after that 2 weeks, around my birthday, I went out to eat at a seafood restaurant. I had a bunch of crab legs, lobster, shrimp, all the butter, salt, all that good stuff. And later on that night, around 4 a.m., I woke up and I had to run to the washroom, and I started throwing up. I just basically purged everything. Like I felt like all my organs and insides were coming out of me, like way more than just food. And like I was never the type of guy to throw up like at all. Like I had a pretty strong stomach, and that night like it just felt like it was way more than food coming out of me, Like I definitely felt like a outer body experience. It was way more than food that night. And I just woke up the next morning and I said, I don't want meat no more. Like something, a voice in my head and my soul was just telling me like, I don't want this no more.
Wow.
And I messaged my friend and I told her, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with that stuff. And she didn't believe me at first.
Because you never ate fruits and vegetables before.
I was never eating fruits, never eating vegetable. My mom used to beg me like, oh, have a banana, have an apple. I wouldn't do it. I was just drinking sodas, drinking juices, eating candy, going out for wings, burgers, all that stuff. Whole life I was an athlete since I was born. That high level performance athlete culture, a lot of meat, a lot of carbs, workouts like 7 days a week, like vegetables and fruits weren't even a thought in my mind.
Wow.
And yeah, that happened September 2nd on my brother's birthday. Actually, was that night I woke up and I just said I'm done with it.
Wow.
And from that point on, I started looking for answers, and I started coming up on educators and influencers, holistic practitioners. The first person that I started really listening to and researching was Dr. Sebi.
Okay,
and
yeah.
From Dr. Sebi, I went on to DR.MORSE, a life regenerator, and it just started snowballing and snowballing. And I really got a grasp of what I was doing to my body, what was going on with my body, and I basically found out the truth. And I just thought to myself, like, it's been 25 years now, and I've basically been going backwards. And I just wanted to restart. I wanted to get right, and I wanted to heal. Because I was born actually with a hole in my heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And my family had a lot of health issues, like cancer runs in my family. My mom had cancer. My aunts had cancer. One of my and she's a doctor, one of the best doctors in the West Indies.
Wow.
She had breast cancer twice.
Wow.
My grandparents had hella health issues. Like as a kid, I always took care of them, and I saw what they went through. I saw all the pills and stuff they were on, and as a kid, I didn't really understand it. But like coming up on the truth and all the information that I had now in the moment, I just looked back and everything started making sense. And like the food was everything. Like everything was the food. I remember everything they ate, how we made food, just the culture from where we come from. I'm Jamaican, by the way, and the food is what it was all about and what we were doing to our body, what we were consuming. So I wanted a fresh start, and in December I went to Cayman Islands, and I found a book called The Biology of Kundalini, and that book was like a truth bomb. Like everything I was going through at the moment, from that night I woke up at 4 a.m. and started purging everything out. Everything made sense. It was like a roadmap of everything I was going through and where I was going. And while I was in Cayman Island, I was doing a lot of meditating, a lot of studying, and just forming thoughts of the path I was about to go down and preparing myself. And when I got back in January, I got back in the end of January, and in February I started a fast, and the fast lasted 42 days.
Wow. What kind of fast was it?
It was a water fast, and I did drink tea, and tea consisted of 5 herbs that I'd make tinctures out of, and it was just water and tea. And there was some days in there where I just didn't even drink at all, and I had so much clarity throughout those 42 days, and it was like a reset, cleansed my body like to a whole nother level. Like I felt things I never felt before, like emotions, thoughts, old memories were coming up, like from when I was like a little kid, like random stuff.
Wow.
And after that fast, I was strictly fruit for a month and a half, and I was just like, I learned everything I feel I needed to learn at that point. And even after that, I realized there's so much more. When you think you know everything, there's so much more that you need to know. And it really puts into perspective that you just got to be open to everything, and one can't just follow one way or one teaching. It's a combination of things, and that's the best way. You got to be open and receptive to learning,
to what comes to you in the moment.
And I was raw from that point on, from April.
So when you finished your fast?
I was like completely raw.
So you just decided that you weren't gonna cook food anymore? Was there, like, because of the stuff you read, or just there was like an internal kind of voice telling you?
Everything I read and the feeling I got when before I actually went to Cayman Island, like I stopped using the microwave, I stopped using the oven, I stopped using the stove. The stove was the last thing, like I'd make like quinoa and stuff, and then I gave up grains like completely, and I was just eating fruit and vegetables. And then when I came back, like I made a conscious decision, like this is what I need to set me on the path I want to be on, especially healing wise. Like I knew this is what I needed, and like cooking anything wasn't the answer, because I learned what happens to our food when we cook it, the way our body receives it, and the messages it sends. So from that point on, I was completely raw, and it was like a complete 180. And a lot of people around me, like when they saw like what I looked like after my fast, and even through my refueling period, they were like, whoa, like what's going on? What happened to you? Like a lot of people thought I was crazy or lost my mind.
Because you were a football player that weighed like 230 pounds.
I was
like a brick house. I can imagine. I can imagine.
I was pretty big, and it was just all gone. And like I knew going into it, like I was so past the physical, like I was way beyond it. It didn't mean anything to me anymore. So I was open to everything that was gonna happen, and I wasn't worried about what people were gonna say or people gonna judge me. Like, I knew what was going on. Like, I knew the truth, and that was all that mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you developed a trust within you. Would you say you developed that trust, or that you were awakened to the trust?
I was awakened to it,
Mm-hmm.
like, for sure. It was awakening. There was awakening period, and at first I didn't understand it, and I was kind of fearful. Like, I didn't want to tell people. I didn't really want to talk about it. I didn't know who I could tell,
Mm-hmm.
but I internalized it all. And during my fast, that isolation period really brought me into balance and like in one with myself. Like, you really learn who you are, what you're about,
Mm-hmm.
where you're coming from, where you're going, and your relation to everything around you. When all you have is yourself, like,
Yeah.
it was more than just a food fast. Like, I wasn't social. I didn't go anywhere. I quit my job. I deleted all my social medias. I wasn't on the phone with nobody. I wasn't texting nobody. It was literally wake up, meditate, stretch. I'm reading, I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm studying, and that
Wow.
was it
Wow.
for 42 days, like, completely.
Wow.
And it was definitely like the most powerful thing I ever did in my life, like, not even close.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now being, what, 4 months raw, how are you feeling?
It's amazing. You feel reborn, and like, it seems like such a short period of time, like 4 months compared to what, 25, 24 years of me doing what I was doing. Just
Mm-hmm.
4 months feeling what I feel. Like, I can't imagine someone that's, Mr. Graham has been doing it for like 40 plus years. I can't even imagine what that's gonna feel like.
Yeah.
Like, I feel amazing. Like, my body feels better than it has. Like, old injuries, aches and pains that I had from playing football are completely gone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember I broke my left arm, and I have a metal plate in my arm. Like, my wrist always used to click non-stop. I used to have pain in my joints, my elbows, my hips. Like, I have no pains, no nothing. It's almost magical. Like, that's the best way to describe it. It's just magic, and you
Amazing.
probably won't believe it until you experience it, and
That's the message.
yeah, you have to experience it.
Have the experience.